Yo, it's your boy Robert Kiyosaki right here, right now, here on Barry Chow's YouTube. Robert Kiyosaki has an important message just for you. Out there in the world, the monetary system, as we know it, is about to implode. And the stock market crash is coming and going to be the biggest in history. The fruits of our labor could be all about to disappear into the abyss unless you safe-proof now. In today's video, I will explain to you about Robert Kiyosaki's opinions and thoughts, and along the way, I will come up with some rebuttal to help you be ready and safe as possible when the inevitable market crash comes to get us. So you better bunker down, get yourself ready, all you doomsdayers out there. It might be about to get a bit turbulent on the ride to financial freedom as we learn the Kiyosaki way right now. Loosen up the belts as the chopping seas are trying to knock us over, but we can survive the market crash. Trust me, we can. Let's get straight to it and learn a little bit of the history from the man himself before we get into his philosophy on the current state of the market. Robert Kiyosaki is most famous for the Rich Dad, Poor Dad books, which is one of over 40 books written by him. Robert made a lot of his wealth from his real estate portfolio and his Rich Dad companies providing free seminars to hook you in and hopefully get you to come back for a longer workshop over a long weekend, costing you thousands of dollars, which 90% of the time the man is not even there himself. His private financial empire in their local area or country, and uses teachings all over the world. I went to one of these seminars and the presenter was so boring, more like a robotic, not personable at all, which left me walking away uninspired. But the man himself is very knowledgeable in the financial world, with over $100 million net worth. Yeah, he certainly knows his stuff. Let's dive into Mr. Kiyosaki and see his views on the future of the global market and the pending doom of the financial burden the market crash may have upon us. The markets are in turmoil. Everything is shifting. And if you're not paying attention, you're going to get wiped out. This is about the greatest bubble. And for you, with a 401k, or hoping for retirement, or playing golf for the rest of your life, you better pay attention right now. Because I think, and a lot of other people think, the biggest market crash is on us now. What is going on in the world right now has never happened in the history of the world. I mean, I knew our leaders were screwed up, but not this screwed up. So the crash is bigger than I thought. So in March of 2020 was the biggest market crash in the history of the stock market on price. Now there's a part here that he thinks of us as dumb, that we only think about the Rona and don't understand the government is printing money. It's too much money. It's not rocket science here, Kiyosaki. Yes, of course there'll be some people that don't care about the financial market, but there is a lot like me and you that do. We should show Mr. Kiyosaki now that the revolution and your destiny is in your own hands by high-fiving your mate as you crash the like button like never before for the most likes in history, as the market crash was predicted right here. Subscribe to the channel so we can feel an essence of money going through our veins. Back to Mr. Kiyosaki and the market crash. People are missing out on one of the most catastrophic cash ties in the history of the world. Now the good news, I'm going to make a fortune. Shouldn't we all be making a fortune here, Mr. Kiyosaki? We're getting back to the video. This is the best time if you're ready for it. So what Mr. Kiyosaki is saying, he wants you guys that are sitting at home licking your wounds, wondering if we're going back to normal. Robert won't go to conspiracy theories, but something is fishy about the Rona crisis. Why did they have to shut down the whole damn world? And I think it's because they're covering up something very big. Robert thinks, how can you shut down the whole world's economy? And the reason has to be a really good one. It's because both the Fed and the Treasury that we all thought, that we believed to be separate, are now scratching each other's backs. Or should we say patting each other's backs, which proves that they were never separate at all. And most people, it doesn't make any sense to them. Most people just watch the stock market and they don't know much about what the price of their homes in their neighborhood is, and that is not good enough. So what does the future hold? So right now, when you look at the future, the baby boomers are old guys. They are the first generation to have 401ks or Roth IRAs. If you're a baby boomer, kid or grandparent, don't be surprised if they are moving in with you when they get wiped out by the next market crash. The old system plans that Ford still have in place to this day guarantees you get money regardless of the market. So what he's explaining here is the most saving plans are tied up in the stock market. And if the crash of a couple of years ago was devastating, but to be perfectly honest, we have always recovered. So I see the crash as the best opportunity to get even richer. But if you're scared of the future, this is your program. So we're here to save your soul and your checkbook. So now we'll look at Robert's views on the world economy today. You didn't have to go to Harvard or Oxford. This is called economics. It's called bubble economics. What's happening in the market today is happening all over the world. Every country is doing this right now. Instead of paying all their bills, they're printing money. They're just printing money like there's no tomorrow. The economy may stay safe for a while, and then it goes down. In 2000 it crashed. But did they fix the problem? Hell no! In 2008 it crashed again. And did they fix the problem? No. Now, do you have a Harvard or gone to Princeton to know what's going to happen next? They just keep printing money forever. It makes the real estate market hot, the bonds market's hot, but it's all based on bubblenomics. So if you want my opinion here, and you might as well jump into a plastic bubble, push it down a hill, and wait for the bubble to burst. So you don't have to go to college, like I did myself. But I didn't learn anything financial, so I guess you're right there, Mr. Kiyosaki, that I don't know anything about it. So in the United States, Social Security is going bust. Teachers' pensions are going bust. State pensions are going bust. Medicare's going bust. And what are the United States going to do about it? They'll drop interest rates. And what's going to happen? Yes, Barry, you were right. The bubble's going to burst. That happened to Robert's classmates. They were great pilots for United Airlines. They went to college and now they're broke. They got a college degree. They don't have a pension. They were told to drink the Kool-Aid. They were told to go to school, get a job, and get a pension. But this crash is here. And what's probably going to happen? It's called MMT. It's modern monetary theory. Robert calls it Marxist modern monetary theory. And that's why Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren, let's take the rich like me and you, or that's what we plan to be. They hate Trump. How can you hate Trump with his smile and his dance moves? Money, money, money. Money, money, money. Money. And now they're blaming Trump for the crash, but it was already on the cards. 2016 it was going to go anyway. It's just that Trump got elected. The biggest thing I tell young people is to invest in your mind. 80% of people need to learn how to fish, and 20% need to be given the fish. The problem with Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren and all the socialists and communists are saying, they are good people. I agree with them. But the number of people that are needed to given fish only increases. You can listen to school teachers who say we should take care of the poor, and we should, but not by giving them money. And what Mr. Kiyosaki is explaining here is we should give the poor the right education around money so they can turn their life around themselves. Not just give them money to anyone on the street, just like in America, where they will go and feed their drug habit, alcohol addiction on junk food. Anyway, I die first. Let's get back to the video. So I'm talking about the economy dying. The reason I say that is the Fed is incompetent. They can't save us. It's gone too far. They've been printing since 1971, and instead of fixing the problem, they just keep making the problem worse. So let me give you an idea what $1 trillion is, and why I'm saying the Fed is incompetent and dying. There's a lot of money. All you have to do is hit the button. Don't even have to print anymore. 1 million, 2 million, 1 million, or 1 trillion, 2 trillion. So if you spent $1 every second, it would take you 3,500. It would take you 35,000 years to spend $1 trillion. I don't know about you, but I don't think you and I are going to be around in 35,000 years' time. They just printed 3 or 4 trillion in the last few months. That's how much they are printing money. If you are saving money out there, I pray for you tonight, because your savings are actually real money. In other words, if you worked for it and you paid the taxes on it, that money you worked for, that's real legitimate money. Fortunately, the Fed is printing out trillions, and they're going to pay you nothing for your savings. Back when Robert was a kid, he was getting 15% on his savings. Myself, I remember getting 10% for term deposits back in the day, but I should have invested in the stock market back then. If only I knew what I knew now. Today, you get nothing and the Fed is screwing you. That's the term. What I understand about Bitcoin, that it's just had a halving. A halving means they print less of it. So at the moment Bitcoin is printing less. The Fed is printing trillions now. You don't need to have a degree in rocket science to figure this one out. The Fed is making the US dollar, or any currency, the yen, the euro, pesos, softer. Bitcoin is getting harder. Gold is getting harder. Silver is getting harder. And that's why I don't buy gold, silver, or Bitcoin to get rich. I just hate getting screwed by the Federal Reserve Bank and the Treasury. If you want to keep your money safe, if you want to keep saving money and put it into the stock market, all the paper stuff is getting printed, and the CEO of the stock market companies, they did a side deal with the Fed. So the Fed was loaning them billions of dollars for them to jack their stock prices up. So all the stocks are at artificial highs, and all the mums and pops are watching their 401k and IRA and their stocks going high. And the Fed keeps printing more money, giving the CEOs indirectly, as they can't do it directly. They do it from what's called special RVs. It's criminal what they're doing, and they give the CEOs the money and they prop up the stock market. That's why we're in serious problems. This is Robert's opinion, not mine. I hope they're wrong and they're going to put people like me in jail. Happens every time. This is it. This is our school. You got to go to school, get a job, be a small entrepreneur. Start like a pizza shop or something. I don't do that, as these people pay 40% in taxes. Remember, money is death in taxes. They work for money and pay 40% tax. They work for money and they pay 60% tax. So the entrepreneur, the small startup, are paying the most tax around, but the big business guys like Elon Musk, Bill Gates, and the rich dad here, we're only paying 20% tax. We're inside investors. I put my own deals together. I don't touch stocks, bonds, mutual funds, etc. I make my own deals and don't pay any tax at all. No taxes? Whoa, Mr. Kiyosaki. No taxes? No taxes? You better ask the king on no taxes, Jeff Bezos. So what did we learn from Mr. Kiyosaki today? To not invest in the stock market. The Fed is printing money, elevating stocks to new highs. The bubble is about to burst. People need to be better educated at schools. What he fails to mention is that for anyone with a mortgage, with interest rates skyrocket to like 5%, there are plenty of people out there that won't be able to afford their home payments, and rent will go up as a process too, making the poorer poorer and the richer richer. So my views on the market crash actually happening? No doubt about it, it's going to happen. But the scale of what he's saying, I don't think so. My spin on this is stockpile your money, people. Get that cash ready to load. And spread between Bitcoin shares and invest in real estate if you haven't already. So you're covered. So you are diversified and bringing in revenue from different streams of revenue. So you're not just relying on one source. A market crash will happen, and when some of the big companies have a lot of debt, begin to fail to pay their debt off, like AT&T for example, that's the biggest worry for people in the stock market. And recovery stocks. Can they handle another big wave of a shutdown or a market crash? Cruise lines could go out of business, and interesting times ahead. I hope you got some value from this video today. Remember to high five the like button so we can live in peace and harmony. And subscribe to the channel to get more of the videos you love. I hope you enjoyed this different type of video for you today. I thank you very much again for joining me. Have an awesome day out there, my friends.